Hello everyone and welcome to the biggest mistake that keeps most solicitors from attracting enough clients and how to fix it with me, Michelle Peters, the business instructor. Really glad that you made it here today for this short training, which is really going to help you identify if you're making this big mistake, and if so, work out how to make some immediate changes to get better results from your marketing and your business development activities so you can attract more clients. Now, here's what you're going to get from today's session. Firstly, I will cover, of course, the biggest mistake most listers make that stop them getting as many clients as they like. Then we'll look at why you need to use a different kind of marketing or business development activity if you want to overcome this challenge. And thirdly, we'll look at, well, what type of marketing or business development activity should you use instead and why. Now, we only have a short amount of time for this training today, so I promise that before we finish, I'll let you know how you can get some further help and support from me at no cost. Would that be okay? Great. Okay, just a few words about me so that you know why I'm here and why I'm doing this talk. I'm the creator of the Profitable Practice Program for lawyers who want more clients and to increase their profits without working more hours. And that's a program that I've developed because of where I can see the need for lawyers and other professionals to make some changes to what they're doing so that they could get better results but simply working fewer hours. And it's based on my own experience of what works, and it's based on my experience of what I've taught to clients that works. I'm also the author of the forthcoming book, The Client Magnet Advantage, How to Attract and Convert More Clients for Your Legal Practice. And what I'm going to be teaching you today comes straight out of the principles that I will be sharing in that book about specifically how to attract more clients to you so that you don't have to go out hunting for them. So that's where today's content is going to be coming from. Now, just a few words about me, how I got here. I started my career as a solicitor in a private practice, large international firm, a Magic Circle firm. And I enjoyed being a lawyer. I was there for 9 years. And eventually, though, I decided it wasn't really what I wanted to be doing for the rest of my life. I decided the environment wasn't one I wanted to stay in, so I left. But the real point I want to share with you is before I left, I, like many professionals that I know, learned virtually nothing about how to attract and convert clients and run a profitable practice. As a lawyer in a big firm, it's very much a case of doing the work, and the work just came in, or certain partners within the firm who were very good at bringing in the work would bring in the work for us. So I learned virtually nothing about how to do marketing. Sometimes we were told to write articles, that was about all, and they didn't really bring results. So I really learned nothing about this. So everything I learned about this topic, I learned after I left the law and went into business. And it was a shock, really, because I realised how much I hadn't learnt when I was in private practice about how to do marketing, how to talk to potential clients, how to grow a business or a practice. And after 5 years of working with another business, I decided to set up on my own. And then there was a whole new learning curve all over again, because, again, I went from a larger business to the small business that I am now. And I was having to learn to market and sell my own personal services, and I found that was very different from learning to market and sell products and services that we sold in my previous business, which was actually related to transforming kitchens, so refitting them, making them look better than they did before. So there was a lot of learning to be done, and the good news is I did learn, and I did find eventually what worked, and that's what I'm going to be sharing with you today. So let's look, before we look at attracting more clients in detail, let's zoom out and look at, actually there are 3 elements of a profitable practice, and let's talk briefly about what they are and why they're important. So the first one obviously is attracting inquiries, and we know that we have to be able to attract more inquiries in order to be able to sustain our practice, because inquiries are the lifeblood of any practice, because existing clients will eventually move, stop needing our services, or perhaps just decide they want to go to somebody else. So attraction is really important, but there are other elements too. For example, conversion. There's no good being able to attract inquiries if you're not any good at converting them. So that's really important, that we can convert the inquiries that we get. And the third element is to be able to maximize the clients that we get. So when we're good at attracting and converting, we'll have clients, but then we want to maximize ethically the instructions and profits that we get from the clients that we have, and that's really important too. So although we're going to be focusing very much on attracting clients in this training, I just wanted to put that in context, that those 3 are really important. And the reason that they're really important is that if you have any one of these areas not working in your practice, then it's a bit like trying to drive the car from where you are now to where you want to be by putting a foot on the accelerator and turning the steering wheel, but actually having one foot jammed on the brake. So if any of these 3 areas is not working, then it is like having a foot jammed on the brake, and it will slow down your progress. So just bear that in mind as we go through today's talk. So what's your biggest challenge when it comes to attracting new clients? Well, when I ask this question, I often hear things like, it costs too much to get clients, or the marketing doesn't really work, or it takes too much time for the rewards that we get, for the results that we get, or I just don't know where to start and I'm not motivated to do it because I don't think it works. Well, all of these challenges are likely actually related to making this big mistake which I'm about to share with you. And that big mistake is this: it's only marketing to those who are looking to buy now, which is what I call here I am marketing. So most marketing goes something like this. It says, this is the name of my firm, these are the areas where we can help, and here's how to contact us. And that is here I am marketing. It says, if you know you want me, here I am, maybe you'll choose me over someone else. Now, the reason that this is a mistake is that there's only a very small percentage of people who are actually looking for you right now. So if you're only marketing to the ones who are looking for you, you're marketing to a very small percentage of people you could potentially help, because not everybody who needs your help is looking for your service. Would you agree? Yeah. So why aren't your clients looking for you? If they have a need that you satisfy, why aren't they looking for you? Well, it could be for one of these reasons. Firstly, they might not realise why they should take action now rather than later. In other words, they have a problem you could help with. Let's say they're setting up a business and they need legal documents. They know they need them, but they don't really realise why it's important to do it now rather than later. In other words, they're not clear on the consequences of not doing it or the advantages of doing it, so they're not motivated to do it right now. Another reason might be that they don't understand why the problem they have is important enough to need help. So let's say they're an employer and they have some issues going on with staff not turning up to work on time and some disciplinary issues, but they don't really realise why it's important that they get the right legal help now to prevent those problems escalating. Or another reason might be that they don't even know that you can help them prevent a problem or achieve a goal they have. So let's say, for example, they are living together, cohabitees. They don't even know that there's a problem with living together with someone without having an agreement in place, and so they don't even know that they need your help. So those are some of the reasons they might not be looking for you, and why Here I Am marketing isn't very effective. So if Here I Am marketing is what you're doing, let's look at what percentage of your potential clients you are actually marketing to, and how this could be holding you back. So here's a pie chart showing your target market. So if you provide more than one area of service, like family and litigation and corporate, just put your mind onto one of those for a moment, and let's look at what's your potential market there. So think of all the clients that you could help who have a problem that you help with, or a goal that you help them achieve, like selling their business quickly. And imagine that that's the 100% of people, all the people who need your services, whether they know it or not. Now, what we're saying is that on average across all sectors, only 3% of your buyers are going to be actively looking for you. In other words, 3% of people you could help are actively seeking your services right now. They know they need you, and they're either looking in directories, asking for recommendations for their friends, or they're networking to find the right person. So that's a very small percentage, and whether that percentage is exactly right for your market doesn't really matter. The principle is it's rather small. So then what about the rest of the market? Well, 7% of people you could help are open to getting your help. So if they're not actually looking today, but if they met you, that might motivate them to take some action. If there was some kind of special offer, that might motivate them, but we're not really into special offers within professional services, so that's probably not going to apply. If they met you, they might take action, but they're not looking for you, and just a basic "here I am" message is probably not going to attract them. The next percentage of people is 30% who are aware that they need your services at some point in the future. In other words, they think it's a problem they probably should sort out at some point, or that they will be at a stage where they do need that help at some point in the future. So those people are also not looking for you right now, and "here I am" marketing, saying "here I am if you want me," is not really going to get their attention, because they think, yeah, I might need you later. Then the purple slice on our pie chart is 30% who are unaware they even need you. So going back to the earlier example, if they're cohabiting, they don't even know that they need help. So they're never going to be looking for you. And even if you tell them that you're a family lawyer with "here I am" marketing, it's not going to catch their attention. And even if you tell them you help with cohabitation agreements, it's not going to attract them, because they don't know they need one. And then finally, we've got 30% in red here who are just no. For whatever reason, they're not going to choose you. They already have someone to help them. They're not in the right area. They don't get on with you, whatever it might be. But even if we ignore that 30%, you can see that there's 70% of the market here that we could get work from, and most "here I am" marketing is only going to target 3%. So what's the effect of this mistake? Well, it's ignoring 67% of potential clients that you could be attracting to your practice, and you're also, what's worse, targeting the same 3% as your competitors. And the problem with that is that that's a very crowded market. So it's time for a different kind of marketing, and there's really two kinds of marketing that we can talk about. One is "here I am" marketing, which is really a sales message. And a sales message is one where you say, "here's what I have, would you like it?" And really it's a push message, isn't it? You're pushing your message onto people, you don't know if they want it or not. And it's the same as what most people are doing. The other type of marketing, though, is an educational type of marketing, where instead of saying "here I am," you say, "here's what you need to know. Here's what you need to know about why you should take action if you've got this situation or problem. Here's what you need to know about the advantages of doing something now to prevent this problem happening at all." In which case you educate people about why, even if they are only in the open, aware, or even the unaware category, they should be coming to you for help. And here's some examples of education-based marketing. These are ones I've created that you can download from my website, thebusinessinstructor.com/resources. But some specific resources for lawyers: 9 essential strategies for growing your legal practice profitably, educates about things you could be doing that you might not have thought of, so as to help you see why you might want some help in those areas. Or 5 essential steps to get more clients from your initial consultations or meetings, educates you that there's a process you can go through to get better results from your meetings, and therefore encourages you to want to think about getting some training in this area if you're not getting the results you want from your consultations. So the real benefit of education-based marketing that we just talked about is that most professionals are only marketing to 3% of their target market, but using education-based marketing you can reach up to 70%. So let me give you an example of one of my clients and how we used education-based marketing to help her attract a wider audience, a bigger audience. So Avril is a costs lawyer, and when I met her, she explained to me that most lawyers who have some kind of litigation matter will only bring in a costs lawyer at the end of the action. Once it's all done and they need to do their bill of costs for court and for the client, they'll bring someone like her in to draw it all up. But Avril explained to me that actually she could get involved in an action much earlier and help the solicitors to ensure that they bill all of the time and record all of the time that they're spending on a matter, so that they actually don't miss out by forgetting to charge for certain work, forgetting to record it, or forgetting to claim it at interim stages when they're having court proceedings. And Avril told me she'd actually saved one client £30,000 by finding that amount of unrecorded and unbilled time on the file. So what we did with Avril was we changed her marketing from "here I am, I'm a costs lawyer, here's how to contact me," to marketing which was educating her target market, which was litigation lawyers, about why they should hire her earlier on in their action and how much she could save them in the process. And so what we did is we created a guide that explained how hiring a costs lawyer earlier could save you thousands of pounds. And then instead of marketing her services to lawyers, Avril started to market her guide. And many more lawyers were interested in reading the guide than were interested in necessarily talking to her as a costs lawyer, because they didn't yet know why they needed her. But of course, once they'd read the guide, then they understood why they should have a conversation about whether she could help them specifically. So with Avril, she found the benefit of switching to this different kind of marketing was that many more potential lawyers were engaging with her, and therefore more of them could come to meetings. So when you get this right, you'll be able to draw on a bigger pool of potential clients and attract them to you. So there's a few key elements required for successful education-based marketing, because many people try it, but not everyone is successful at it. And these are the three key tips. The first one is you've got to give the right amount of value when you give away this sort of free information and free guide. And if you give away too much, you'll actually repel the client, and if you don't give away enough, you won't attract them in the first place. You need to use education-based marketing to start some kind of relationship, ongoing relationship with your potential clients. So with any marketing, it's important to be able to have an ongoing relationship, because you don't expect somebody to read a guide that you've written and immediately hire you. Some will, but many will still be thinking about it. And if you can start an ongoing relationship with them, then you have a chance to continue that relationship until they are ready to talk to you. So if you just give away a guide or a report, then you don't know who that person is. If they just download it from your website and disappear, you don't know who they are, you can't follow up with them, and you're relying on your marketing being a one-hit wonder and convincing them in one go. The third key element is positioning the purchase, which means setting the buying criteria. And what this means is you need to take the opportunity in your guide or report or information that you provide to teach about why somebody needs your help, and how they should choose the right person. So if you don't teach them about how to choose the right person, they'll choose on whatever they think is right. For example, it could be price, or it could be some other factor that's not really that important. Now, most education-based marketing lacks those second and third elements and gives too much of the first element, which actually pushes clients away. And this was the problem with one of my clients, Andrew, who's a commercial lawyer. So he was producing a lot of great material on his website for his potential clients to read. And as a commercial lawyer, he was doing things like explaining about how distribution agreements worked and what should be in them, things like that. Now, what was happening was he was giving so much information that most prospective clients who came to his site could just download that information and think that they could now work out themselves what should be in their agreements. So he was giving too much value, but he also wasn't starting an ongoing relationship, because people could just come and download that information. They didn't need to interact with him in any way. They didn't need to even leave an email address. He couldn't follow up, and he couldn't have an ongoing relationship with them. And because his information was strictly on the technical topic of, say, a distribution agreement and a block exemption, he did not do anything to teach them why they should choose someone like him to help them. So they might come get his information, and then they might go to another solicitor local to them to get the help actually drafting it. Maybe even providing a copy of his notes to that lawyer. That could happen. So this was a problem for Andrew, and what we did with Andrew was we made sure to correct these 3 key elements. Now, this is something I teach as part of my 5-step client attraction program, to give the right amount of value, to make sure that you start an ongoing relationship by asking people for their email or details before you give them your guide or report, and to make sure that your guide or report includes information about why they should choose someone like you, so they know why, and therefore they are more likely to do so. And with Andrew, the difference was that making small changes to the content he already had, and he had a lot on his website, we were able to get him 30% more inquiries from the same content over a 6-month period, and 36% more of those inquiries turned into clients than they had done in the previous period. And so what that tells us is that the inquiries he was getting is not just more of them, but they were better inquiries, more qualified, more ready to take his services after they had read his information. So some small changes adding up to some quite substantial results with only having to make a small amount of effort. So, done correctly, education-based marketing will do a few different things for you. It will firstly educate more potential clients about why they need your service and the value for them of that service. Why they shouldn't wait, why it's important for them. Secondly, it's going to give value. It's something of use that you give to somebody, which builds trust and starts a relationship, and that in itself is going to attract clients much more than a here I am marketing approach. Thirdly, it helps you stand out from the crowd because you're doing something different from all the here I am marketing of your competitors. Fourthly, it positions you as an expert. You're giving away expert information. You are not positioning yourself as a seller with a here I am message. And fifthly, it works hard for you whilst you are helping other clients or taking a well-deserved rest. In other words, getting out a kind of guide or report out into the world is marketing that's working for you even when you're not out networking and when you're not calling or emailing or staying in touch with people in an active way. So, question for you to reflect on is, what difference would it make if you used effective education-based marketing? What difference would it make to the number of clients that you get, the type of clients you get, and the amount of effort that you need to get them? So now's time to make a decision. My job in this training is to help you make some good decisions about how to move forwards. And one of the things to make a decision about now is, are you going to change your marketing to an educational approach? Or if you're already doing an educational approach and you're not getting the results you want, are you going to commit to doing it in a better way, and in particular taking note of those 3 essential elements that I gave you earlier? Well, if the answer to that question is yes, then I'd love to give you some more help to help you get better at education-based marketing, and to understand how to implement it effectively into your practice. So I've got a couple of free resources for you. The first one is this guide called The 3 Biggest Mistakes That Keep Most Solicitors from Attracting Enough Clients and How to Fix Them in the Next 90 Days. So today we talked about the biggest mistake. There are 2 other big mistakes, and I share them in this report, as well as sharing 3 golden rules for getting your education-based marketing to work in more detail. So you can download that from this web address shown on the screen, which is www.moreclientsforlawyers.co.uk. moreclientsforlawyers.co.uk. So you can download that report there, and you'll learn the other mistakes and get more detail on the 3 essential things you must do to make education-based marketing work for you. If you want to go a bit further with this, then the other option, well, the next step really, will be to discover the 5-step client attraction system that I've talked about briefly in today's training, which is really all about how to use education-based marketing effectively. And when you download the report that I just showed you at moreclientsforlawyers.co.uk, on the thank you page after you've downloaded it, you will see an invitation to a training I'm running on several dates coming up, which is all about the 3 reasons, but also the 3 reasons why you're not getting as many clients as you want, but also goes in depth on what are the 5 steps in the client attraction system that you need to follow in order to have effective education-based marketing. So this is a 90-minute training, and you'll get a lot more detail when you attend that training, more detail than I have time to share with you today. So that's 2 ways you can go further, get more help and information on this topic if you've made a decision that education-based marketing is something you want to explore in more detail. Now, just before we finish up, let's just zoom back out again and remind ourselves that what we've talked about today is just one element of attracting more clients, which is through the marketing materials that you're using. And that this is part of these 3 essential elements of a profitable practice of attract, convert, and maximize. And it's really important that you don't just focus on one of these areas, that you make sure all 3 of these areas are working well for you so that you can have a profitable practice. And if you feel that you might have the brakes on in any one of these 3 areas, then it's really important to find out what's causing those brakes to be on and what can you do to fix it. So I have one more invitation for you to get some help with that, and that is a profitable practice focus session with me. Now, this is a complimentary session. It's 15 minutes by phone, and in 15 minutes we can get a lot done. What we'll do is we'll identify the biggest thing holding you back from being more profitable and achieving your growth goals. It could be in attract, it could be in convert, it could be in maximize, or it might be spread across the 3. We'll find the biggest thing. You'll then discover what you need to do to get more clients and improve your profitability. So what you can do to overcome that thing that's holding you back. And I'll create for you a 3-step mini action plan of how to move forward, what you need to do differently to get the clients and the growth and the profits that you want. And just to let you know, to apply for that session, here's what you need to do. You need to send an email to the email address shown on the screen, which is strategy@thebusinessinstructor.com. That's strategy@thebusinessinstructor.com. And if you can put focus session please in the subject line, focus session please, that will help me know what session that you're asking for, and include your contact details so I can get back in touch with you. And what I'll do when you send me an email is I'll send you a link to a diary planner showing when I have times available for these sessions. You can choose a time that suits you. I'll send you a short questionnaire to gather some information about you before the session so we can make the most of our time together. And then when we jump on our call together, we'll identify the biggest thing holding you back. You'll find out what you need to do to get more clients and improve your profitability, and you'll leave with a mini 3-step action plan of what to do next. So before we finish today, I just want to share this with you, which is you need to act because action changes things. So nothing I've talked about today can actually help you or make any change in your practice without some action on your part. So whether that's asking for the 3 biggest mistakes report, or coming to the in-depth training, or requesting the 15-minute one-on-one session with me so I can help you work out where are the biggest challenges in your practice and what should you focus on, you need to take some kind of action to get results. So take action and you'll move forwards. When you move forwards, you'll be nearer to your goals. If you have any questions as a result of today's training, here's my contact details on the final slide. It's michelle@thebusinessinstructor.com. If you have a question, if you want the session, best to email strategy@thebusinessinstructor.com so that we can send you that link and get you booked in. Great. I want to thank you for being here today, taking the time to be on this session, and I'll look forward to hearing from you. And until next time, take care and take action. Bye for now.